Air New Zealand has successfully launched its longest direct flight and new flagship route from Auckland to New York. After a 2-year COVID delay, more than 250 passengers joined the inaugural flight and in just one sleep arrived in the city that never sleeps. Sky News New Zealand Bureau Chief Jessica Maggio was one of them.
After a 2-year COVID delay, Air New Zealand is finally taking a bite of the Big Apple.
I think what we're seeing around the world is a lot of people value being able to fly point to point. We're very confident that, the ability to connect New Zealand with the east coast of America is a real highlight and a real benefit.
With its bright lights, rich culture and iconic scenery, it seems the most obvious choice for the airline's latest connection to the United States East Coast.
Very excited. It's been a long time waiting to get out of New Zealand, and what a better place than New York.
A non-stop direct route covering 14,215 kilometres, or almost 9,000 miles. From the city of sails to the city that never sleeps. For its maiden flight, Air New Zealand invited Sky News on board. The inaugural voyage to lead one of 3 ultra-long-haul flights departing Auckland each week and year-round. Air New Zealand CEO Greg Foran says demand calls for it.
We already are seeing strong numbers both ways and, we're excited about that.
Qantas will launch its route from Sydney to New York via Auckland in 2023.
We're underway today. They've got a few months to go before they get underway, and we'll give them a wave in the sky.
A quick search online shows Air New Zealand's ultra-long-haul flight is likely to save travellers at least 10 hours in transit, be it through additional travel time or stopovers, compared to other airlines. A winning ticket indeed. But the journey is a logistical feat. 4 pilots on shift rotation.
We all know how we feel when we get off a long flight, so the aim is that we don't feel like you.
And 13 cabin crew. This is the longest direct route operated by Air New Zealand and the world's 3rd longest trip. Northbound, you're looking at around 16 hours thanks to the wind, but on the return, almost 18 hours. Now, to put that into perspective, you could watch both the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit theatrical trilogies and still have minutes to spare. So how did passengers fare flying 16 hours to the concrete jungle?
The 16 hours, about like 16 hours, but the staff on the flight were great. It's been a good flight.
It's been really good, actually. Super long, but the flight attendants have been lovely.
I forgot how long it is, normally doing the old domestic routes over the last few years, but it's so good to be back on a plane and going overseas again, so we're so happy to be, especially go to New York.
Pre-COVID, America was New Zealand's 3rd largest source of visitors. Around 370,000 tourists visited in 2019, and after an annual net loss of $591 million, New Zealand's national carrier boss, who before the role was at the helm of Walmart USA, is confident the new flagship route will deliver.
I think what's going to happen is that as the airlines get more muscle to be able to fly more, the whole environment, the ecosystem comes back. What that's going to do is put a few more planes in the air, and that's going to be a good thing.
For many on board the aircraft, it was their first international flight since the start of the pandemic. And what a way to travel in style for autumn in New York. Jessica Maggio, Sky News, New York City.